Today I'm going to show you how I journaled Surah Abasa. Kept it really simple today and just used my Quran journal and my laptop. I started off by jumping on YouTube and listening to Omar Hisham's recitation before jumping on Quran.com and reading the background of the surah. So this surah has 42 ayahs and it was revealed in Mecca. I read through the thematics and the subject matters and then proceeded to read the line-by-line translation, including all of the footnotes. After that I worked through the commentaries, so this is Ibn Khatir's tafsir and then the other commentaries that are on Quran.com. These are excellent. I would usually also watch a video or two on YouTube, but I didn't have enough time for this today, so I went straight into writing. So I reflected on why and how the surah was revealed, and I split it up into the subject themes and reflected on how each bit made me feel. I usually look up relevant hadiths based on my favourite ayah on sunnah.com, and then I finished up by marking it off on my Quran track. That's it. Assalamu alaikum.
وبعد قراءة أول صفحة تبدأ حكايتنا الخيالية وننتقل إلى عالم مختلف وزمن آخر، ولكن إلى أين؟ ما الأحداث المنتظرة؟ ما السبيل إلى العودة؟ هذا ما سنعرفه داخل الكتاب.
The gardeners have planted white roses when I specifically asked for red.
You could always paint the roses red.
What an odd thing to say.
مددت يدي مرتجيا رضا كريم لا يرد سؤال عبد وما منع العطية.
Did you know that every morning and every evening the Prophet ﷺ actually asked Allah, he made a dua to Allah to protect him from depression and anxiety? And he taught us to do the same every single day. Say this every morning and every evening: Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-hazan wa a'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal-kasal wa a'udhu bika min al-jubni wal-bukhl wa a'udhu bika min ghalabat ad-dayn wa kahr ar-rijal.
I don't think you understand that you are my therapist. Hello? Are you even listening?
Let me show you how I study the Quran, surah by surah. My goal during these sessions is to fully immerse myself into the surah and gain as much benefit from it as possible. Step 1. Find the surah I am studying on Quran.com. Then I click on Surah Info. Here I read about the historical context of the surah as well as a brief outline. This step alone was such a game changer for me. I understand the verses so much more, knowing the context in which they were revealed. Step 2. I listened to the entire surah on Audible. The specific version I listened to is called Quran in English, and it is free to listen to. Here is a sample of it.
Surely the home of the hereafter is better for those who fear him.
Step 3. After listening to the surah, I read the surah in English. Two of my favorite translations are The Clear Quran by Mustafa Khattab and the Quran translated by M.S. Abdul Halim. By now, I have understood the historical context, listened to the translation, and read it as well. Some verses stand out to my ears when listening, while other verses appeal to the eyes when reading. Step 4. I then go on YouTube and watch a few lectures on the surah I am studying. This completes my in-depth surah study that anyone can do for free. So what is your excuse now? Follow for more videos on how you can study the word of Allah.
You see people at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning doing what? Non-Muslims. Exercising.
Yeah.
Right? They go to the gym at 5 a.m. Right? Why? Because they want it.
Yeah.
And they love it and they love the result. And this is for dunya, nothing. When we go to the grave, it's not going to give us anything back. Subhanallah. Can't we Muslims wake up at 5 or 4 or in the evening? Some of them goes in the evening and just give this 1 hour, not to my body, but to my soul. It's the words of him. And I can't tell you what will happen once you start memorizing the Quran. The barakah, the blessings you see in your life. And I'm not saying you're going to be rich necessarily, but the peace, the serenity, the strong connection you will feel, it's beyond.
This is by far the best method of Quran journaling I've tried. Start off by listening to the surah before reading the translation. At the moment I'm using the Clear Quran, but also use Quran.com. Once I've read the translation, I highlight the characteristics of the believers and the disbelievers before looking up the background of the surah and the themes and schematics, and then reading the tafsir as well. I decided I would come up with a colour scheme today, so picked out the stickers that I wanted and matched a few pens, just tested those on the paper to make sure that they were okay. I always go in first and write down this characteristics of the believers and disbelievers so I can see this on every spread, and I always box those in green and pink. Once I'd done that, I wrote out the surah background and used these stickers to write out each emotion I felt reading and listening to the surah. I ended up using up the whole page on the next bit, so I added an extra page, but basically what I do is use the sticker to write out the ayat, so the reference number and then the ayat itself, and then my reflection underneath in a different colour. I always pick out the ayat that resonate with me the most and the lessons that I want to learn from each. Then I go back and put in my favourite ayat, and this is the final outcome. I also summarise with a few lessons on the last page. Assalamu alaikum.